For as little as $1 per month, you can support independent journalism by supporting Mieum Media on Patreon. That's mere pocket change to support quality local content creation. To subscribe, visit patreon.com/MIEUM Media. Thank you to all paid subscribers for helping to grow Mieum Media and for supporting independent journalism. Over the course of the past 2 weeks, we've highlighted New London, Waterbury, Derby, New Britain, Meriden, and New Haven. They were all included in a viral video called The 10 Worst Places in Connecticut, which was uploaded in October 2016. Last month, I explained that while the video lacked transparency, did not cite its sources, and was not credible, the stereotypes it perpetuates are pervasive nonetheless. Rather than let a viral video continue to rack up hundreds of thousands of views without pushback, Mieum Media decided to show the other side of the story. Today, in the final installment of this series, we will travel to Windham, Willimantic, Bridgeport, and Hartford. Today, we'll first be heading to Bridgeport, Connecticut's largest city.
We built this city, and now it sucks. Welcome to Bridgeport, the 5th worst place to live in the entire state. What makes B-Town such a lousy place to live? Well, this city does have one of the highest crime rates in the entire nation. Last year, there were 19 murders here, which is really high for Connecticut. There's a decent chance if you live in Bridgeport, you're broke, out of work, or both. Other signs you're from Bridgeport? The local subway's behind glass. They lock up the tide at your Walmart. And there's a DNA test truck on your block.
The good news is that as you see the city grow, we're seeing people work better together. We're seeing our department, all of our public safety entities, whether it's police or fire, first responders, I think do an outstanding job. And that message is getting out there because people are investing, property values are going up. People wouldn't be moving here and investing here if they didn't feel not only it was a good, clean city, but safe as well.
Unfortunately, I was unable to record footage in Bridgeport on a sunny day. But nevertheless, Mayor Joe Ganim was confident that the city has made substantial progress over the last few years. He told Mieum Media that despite this growth, the Connecticut tax code makes funding cities in the state difficult.
In Connecticut, cities are usually the highest, obviously the highest population, but also are the centers for services, whether it's courthouses, it's hospitals, whether it's Department of Motor Vehicle buildings, government buildings, maybe recycling centers or trash energy plants. And so we service not only our own population, but maybe the whole county. It's a property tax-based tax system in Connecticut. And so there's an inequity that follows that because of more than a third of the property being tax exempt, whether it's courthouses or hospitals or nonprofits or churches. So we work through that, but we still, I think, succeed in many ways because people realize this is a place they want to be.
When I asked Mayor Ganim what he enjoys doing in Bridgeport, he told me that when he's not running the city, he can be found running in the city.
I like to jog at Seaside Park. I do go up, I'm a little old for the zoo, but I do go up there and enjoy that as well. And I like the restaurants. We're not overrun restaurants, but the ones that we have are outstanding. So you're gonna see this kind of feel or buzz of what's kind of here now, but really the backdrop, and you're gonna feel it is, wow, what's gonna come here? And it's gonna be some really cool stuff.
Next, we have Hartford, Connecticut's capital city.
Hartford really isn't much better, actually. It ranks in the top 5 for unemployment rates, crime, and income levels. It's no wonder that home prices are some of the lowest in the state. Just 200 years ago, this was one of the richest cities in the nation. Now, 3 in 10 people lives in poverty, and it's one of the poorest. Hartford's called the insurance capital of the world, and you better have some quality car insurance, homeowners insurance, and life insurance if you make this place your home.
Mieum Media reached out to Gwendolyn Thames, president of Hartford City Council. While her schedule did not allow her to formally sit down with us, she did agree to an email interview. Unfortunately, she was not able to get her responses back to us before I needed to edit the video, but we will publish her statements when she submits them, and the link will be in the description below. A number of people only think of Hartford as the place where the Connecticut legislature meets. And indeed, Mieum Media has gone to Hartford to cover the flu epidemic, the raising of the tobacco wage, equitable marijuana law reform, and the No Tolls Connecticut movement. But I also covered Hartford when it ranked 3rd for being the best city in the United States for women in business. I also interviewed Joey Batts, a Hartford 2-time Teacher of the Year award recipient and recording artist who throws an annual fundraiser called Hip Hop for the Homeless. Spending so much time in Hartford, visiting family and friends there, as well as going for pleasure, it's been clear to me, at least anecdotally, that the city has made progress. But similar to what the mayor of Bridgeport discussed, Mayor Luke Bronin of Hartford has raised concerns about his city's tax dilemma. You cannot run a city on the tax base of a suburb. The city of Hartford has less taxable property than our suburban neighbor West Hartford. More than half of our property is non-taxable. This is all just my experience, but these days it's pretty common to hear people talking about going out to eat, watching a baseball game, visiting a brewery, or even moving to Hartford. And some people who have lived in Hartford for their whole lives told me off camera that while there's still progress to be made, the city is at its least turbulent state in decades. And that's a good thing. Last, we'll be traveling to Windham and Willimantic, both of them.
Shall we begin?
Our first stop on our unfavorable journey through Connecticut starts in Windham. When you look at the data and talk to locals, Windham is a crummy place to live. Just about 1 in 10 residents in Windham is without a job, and income levels are in the bottom 10 as well. And for a decent job, you'd have to drive nearly an hour back and forth to Hartford every day for work. Yuck. On the bright side, since the heroin and meth use here is so high, you could probably make some extra money on the weekends. Just be sure to save some for your friends in New London. They're always ready to buy. And where's the worst place to live in Connecticut? That would be Willimantic, hands down. This borough of Windham is the heroin capital of the state. If you're looking for unemployment, drug use, and poverty, start here. It ranks in the state's bottom 10 for income levels and home prices, and in the top 10 for home vacancies and crime. When you're in some of the worst Connecticut communities, some parts can be hard to tell apart, but you can tell who's from Willimantic though. They're the ones with the 40, a pistol, a beat-up car, and a pit bull. If you don't live in Willimantic or any of the other Connecticut places we mentioned, you don't have it too badly. Congratulations.
So Windham is the town. Willimantic was once a separate entity, a separate government entity, but today it's all combined. It's now just a service district.
Jim Rivers is the city manager for Windham, and obviously Willimantic as well. He told me that the aforementioned video got a lot wrong, and not just listing Windham and Willimantic as separate entities.
Whoever made that was completely uninformed about reality. Some of the comments that are made in that video are just bogus. I don't know why, what the motivation is. I don't know what else to say. It's false. And I can show you the statistics. Now we are, on paper, a poorer community in Connecticut, probably one of the third poorest. One of the reasons for that is that we have a high college or high university student population here. We have many students here, not only from Eastern Connecticut State University, but University of Connecticut. Their incomes are lower. So that's part of that statistic, which is tough for us to bring up. Because of that, we do have a lot of immigrants here, but those immigrants tend to be lower in crime. Statistically, we want more immigrants because they don't commit a lot of crime.
Rivers told Mieum Media that due to empirical evidence of Windham's revitalization, it's time for these stereotypes to die.
Big problem for us is this image that has been created by that video, for that matter. I think most everybody else got the message that that's not the case, but that has come up, keeps popping up. So there's lots to see here. There's museums. We have some great architecture here. We got a lot of good businesses, good restaurants. But I think a lot of people don't know what's here. I think that's one of our challenges.
Including this video, I've put out 4 stories showcasing an oft-overlooked perspective about Connecticut cities and pushing back on that dubious viral video. Despite clear progress, there's still more work to be done. The media should try to highlight the good news and not just focus on the bad. Reforms need to be passed to help cities that have relatively low percentages of taxable properties. And local governments need to stay vigilant to push back on misinformation. But lay people can help as well, by not accepting conventional wisdom about cities without doing some due diligence first.